F Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on a Madness Wednesday. That's right, the Tigers' Memphis Madness. This long-awaited team is gonna hit the floor for everybody to see. I think we're gonna have a pretty darn good audience. Should be fairly jam-packed. I know there were some tickets still available for tonight. The doors will open at 6 o'clock. You can enjoy the blue carpet experience where the players, I think, will be signing autographs, both men and women, from 5 to 6. Intro the teams at 7:15. We got skills. We got a three-point contest, a dunk contest. We got scrimmages, and who knows who the entertainment will be. We tried to get that out of Penny Hardaway last week. He said, I got to surprise my team. So apparently, even the team doesn't know who will be playing, coming in and out of entertainment. Should be a really, really fun evening. Speaking of madness, Jay Morgan, do you know who William Shatner is?
I do know who William Shatner. Love Star Trek.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Right. Do you know how old William Shatner is?
He's 90, right?
That's right. I asked John Harden, not to make John look bad, but John goes, oh, yeah, he's probably 65. Oh, no, he's not. He's 90 years old. I'm not sure. And I've witnessed some pretty sharp 90-year-olds, really and truly. I have some longevity in my family. My grandmother was still pretty with it at 90. Nothing like William Shatner. You realize he's still doing TV stuff, and he's going into space. Now, that's real madness. At 90 years of age, he's going into space. And they asked him, so what's the thing that is most important to you about this? He said, coming down. I want to make sure I come down. I'm with him there. So he's with that, what is it, Blue Origin, or it's the Bezos deal.
It's something. They were all wearing blue jumpsuits. I think that's right. I think
it's blue something. And I'm just absolutely amazed that at the age of 91, that he's just so sharp, because that's incredible. And he's still funny as can be. He still has timing. It's just amazing. And that at 90 years of age, he's going to space. So he will become the oldest human being, I'm guessing, ever to go into space at 90, right? Gotta be. So Captain Kirk, how about that? I just think it is an incredible story. I don't understand this from the Grizzlies. I really do not get it. In this age of instant information and websites everywhere and everybody weighing in on things, how is it you could say that a player that you are going to probably start that hasn't played at all in the preseason, and you keep saying before every game, even though we already knew he had a hand injury from this summer, that was documented, we knew that, but they kept saying he can't play because of thigh soreness. So you're thinking, his hand's okay, he's healed there, but now he's got another issue, and it's his thigh. Well, that'll get better, you think. I mean, what? Is it a deep thigh bruise? Because I've had some of those. Football gives you those. You know, you take a knee to the thigh in the wrong time, and you can get a contusion there that is, somewhat debilitating, and I could see that being sore for a week or so. And now they come out yesterday, and they say, well, wait. He had 2 fractures in his left hand. They're not healing quick enough for him to really play. We're going to be on the safe side. He's out for a while. We'll reevaluate in 2 to 3 weeks. So he could be out for longer than 2 to 3 weeks. We know for sure he's out 2 to 3 weeks. He's going to miss the start of the season. But why, when you come clean now, why would you mislead people all this time in saying it was his thigh and soreness, not being specific, it was his thigh and not a broken hand? I don't get that, and I'm not sure other NBA teams treat the public and the conduit to the public, the media, the same way. I don't get it. That has been the way they've been. Actually, they don't usually say anything. And this time they said something misleading. So I don't quite understand the purpose in that. And we know that Dylan Brooks will be a key part here, whether he's a starter or whether he comes off the bench. And it might be that a guy like Baines or Melton, they start to play so well that Dylan Brooks ends up coming off the bench. Depends on how they start the season. They got that really tough beginning of the year, so we shall see. On information, since I'm complaining about the Grizz, I'm really curious to see what the NFL is going to do because now there's going to be a lot of pressure on the league. So we all know that John Gruden's fall from grace came because of an investigation into the practices of the Snyders and the Washington football team. And that the league went through 650,000 different emails. And the only thing that the league, and they say, by the way, they didn't release this, but it got found out. The only thing that we have gleaned from 650,000 emails are the racist, homophobic, anti-women statements that were written, because they're there, by John Gruden, which caused John Gruden his fall from grace. And there's just no way to defend once you've seen all these things, John Gruden. No way. There are several people that will say, well, you can't conjure up stuff from 10 years ago. Who remember, I can't remember what I said or did 10 years ago. Most likely I've changed my position from 10 years ago. The thing is, he wrote it. It's there, and it's not going to go away, and the league had to do something, especially a league that is really trying to change its whole approach, not just image. I think whole approach, and be more socially conscious and more accepting. But now there's pressure from all of the networks, all the news shows, not sports shows, news shows. They want to know, what are the other things you found out from the 650,000? At the moment, the NFL is saying the investigation with the Washington football team is done, over. The Snyders are done. We don't need to learn anymore. We've already figured all of that out. Well, I don't think that's enough. What about the people that Gruden sent that stuff to? And how many other emails from good old boys might we see in all of this? I don't think it's going to fly. And I got a feeling before it's all said and done, when all of this stuff is revealed, unless Roger Goodell can really seal it away, which I doubt, I don't think John Gruden will end up being the only victim, the only guy that is affected. That may be a better word, affected by all of this. There was a lot of baseball, and we are efforting to get a hold of our friend Tim Doolin, who's going to join us here in a few minutes to talk about what we already know and what is coming up in baseball. Astros take down the Chi Sox last night. More cheating allegations there. The Boston Red Sox will now face Houston. You realize the Boston Red Sox have now made 5 straight ALCSs? 5 straight. The Braves did that back in the Dale Murphy and Chipper Jones era. And, by the way, the Braves were also able to move on, knocking off the Brewers. The Dodgers and the Giants are now tied. And that series, who knows how that'll finish in San Francisco. In the meantime, I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studios reminding you, you need to get to the Family Leisure at I-40 and Whidden Road because they've got the Relax at Home sale going on right now. What does that mean? That means it gets a little cooler. Have folks come over for fun. You can be the host. You can Play a game of pool because they got state-of-the-art pool tables. You can go shuffleboard. You can go air hockey. There's a million different ways to go. You can watch the big game or a movie in style with new theater seating. They got them on sale. Also, if you get a little older, you work out a little bit, maybe you're moving leaves because it's fall, right? Massage chairs. It used to be, I thought those were gimmicky. These massage chairs these days, they really work. Like you go to a chiropractor, they put you in one of those chairs, they work. That's what they got at Family Leisure. All you got to do is get there. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun all come together. So our friend Tim Doolin on baseball joins us now. I'm going to ask you a tough question to begin with, but Tony La Russa, actually a player for the White Sox, brought it up that the Astros are still cheating. Do you believe that? Because on the road, they beat the White Sox last night, killed them 10-1.
I don't believe it. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of emotions going on with players getting hit, and Tony thinking that they're throwing at him. I don't think they were throwing at him. I really don't. I think that when the game's the score it was, the inning, obviously the history of him getting hit, all season long, Tony wasn't happy. I think Tony was more pissed that they were losing and that he was losing to Dusty than he was about the other. So I don't think they are. I think that the Astros are just a very, very good club. I mean, top to bottom. The one thing that's interesting is in the era that we're in of home runs and a lot of strikeouts and max effort pitchers and max effort hitters. The fact of the matter is the Astros, they do it all. They play a total game. They put balls in play. They can play small ball. They play good defense. They obviously pitch it very well. So I think we talk about this every year, Wolo, is when you get to playoffs, you're facing really good pitchers. So I think the teams that execute and can put the ball in play on a consistent basis, they've got a better chance of winning than the guys that are just feast or famine at the plate.
It's always been that way, right? I mean, pitching is the name of the game. You got a great pitcher. You've got the upper hand. I don't think we give Houston enough credit because I just mentioned this as I was bringing you on. The Astros have now made 5 straight LCS, League Championship Series, in a row. The last team that did that was the Atlanta Braves, I think, of Murphy and Jones and Smoltz and Maddox and all those guys. That was a great team. Are the Astros in that league? Are they that good a team that we just haven't recognized? And some of it is the taint of the cheating with the drums.
I think the taint of the cheating that occurred makes our perception that we don't give them enough credit, like you said, for being as good as they are. And again, I think we talked about it last week. Dusty Baker was the perfect guy to step in and calm that hurricane down and get the distractions out of there. And look, this team's got to be really good, or they wouldn't have done what they've done. And to be super resilient going on the road, even probably, and you'll see it in this next series, is the Boo Birds are going to be out when they're on the road. They're going to be, taunting them and calling them names and cheaters and everything else, and they've just kind of shrugged it off and continued to play great baseball.
Yeah, I thought it might affect them, and last year they were lucky because there were no crowds. This year it does not seem to be affecting them at all, and that sets it up with Boston. So who do you like in that series?
I tell you what, I think it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Boston's that club, that's much like how the Cardinals were playing down the stretch. The Red Sox on that side of the league have just been dynamic. I mean, you lose a Mookie Betts, MVP, and you bring Cora back after a crazy 2020, and it's like they never missed a beat. And they've got young players that have stepped into certain roles. They've got their veteran guys that have been there before. They're playing as good as anybody that's left, and I would definitely not discount them against the Astros.
No, I think it's going to be a great series. I agree with you. I think it goes 6 or 7, and I think I favor Houston in this thing. I know Boston's been hot, and the way they rallied and came through and knocked out the Yankees and their nemesis. I mean, that was great, dramatic stuff. But Houston is a team we have underappreciated, and Altuve is such a great player. And I think that's really great players end up winning postseason games. And all you got to do is look at your guy, Mookie Betts, last night. 2-run homer, got another hit that drove in a run early in that game, and the Dodgers stay alive. I don't know who's going to win Game 5. I really don't. But I know the biggest star on the field in that series is Mookie Betts.
Well, he's always been the guy that's able to slow the game down. He had I wouldn't say an up and down year or a subpar year. He battled the hip early on and really played through it, and probably should have gone on the DL earlier than he did, but he wanted to continue to play, and unfortunately got some good therapy, and he's feeling really good, and he's locked in right now. I tell you, but not just the fact that he's producing offensively, he just brings another dynamics to the game of defense, the ability to run bases. Obviously his arm is incredible, but it takes all of them, and he won't take credit because he's going to pass it along to his teammates. But yes, he's definitely been doing it thus far, and I think tomorrow night's game is going to be another close, low-scoring game, I would imagine. Urias has been great for the Dodgers, and San Francisco's guy was dominant his last outing. It's going to be in San Fran. It's going to be a little chilly at night, but it's going to be electric for sure.
Do you give the edge to the hometown team? I know you want the Dodgers to win because of your friendships with Betts and Pujols.
I don't know that I give the edge to. I think it's just flip a coin, to be honest with you. It's going to be. I think the team that scores early is going to have the edge, because if the Dodgers can put up a crooked number early in the game and somewhat calm the crowd down a little bit, obviously it's never over with either one of those teams. We've seen that throughout this series, that things happen late. But the Dodgers, other than the other night, the Dodgers are really swinging the bat, in my opinion, a little bit better than the Giants. So it'll be, whichever pitcher makes the fewest mistakes is going to be the one left standing.
Is the winner of that series automatically in the World Series, or will the Braves pull off an upset?
I wouldn't say it's automatic. I think the better team is going to come out of this game tomorrow night. But the Braves, much like we've talked about with the Red Sox and the Cardinals, they're playing great baseball right now. I mean, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, they're getting Jock Peterson, guys like Jock Peterson, who you really didn't expect to be that guy, has been, he's been that guy.
Right.
And so anytime you get into a series where you've got guys that are unexpectedly putting up big numbers for you and coming through in the clutch, they're dangerous. And I think the Braves are definitely dangerous. The Braves gave the Dodgers all they could handle last year, if you remember. So I don't foresee anything different in the National League pennant series. I think that game, whether it's the Giants or the Braves, the Giants or the Dodgers, I think it's going to go 6 games at least.
That NLCS, this is their second one in a row. They are a young team that's really good. They're doing this without Acuna too, which is pretty amazing. And you mentioned Freddie Freeman. He hit a big home run yesterday. Freddie Freeman, I'm not saying he's Mookie Betts, but he is to Atlanta what Betts is to the Dodgers.
There's no question, and I do not see how in the world the Braves are going to be able to not sign him to a long-term deal. Not only is he a face of the franchise, he's just a good guy, and those guys are hard to find, especially what Freddie Freeman's done for that organization, all the trials and been through the COVID and all the things that he's been through, and to come up against Josh Bader and hammer that slider the way he did was unbelievable.
I have to ask you this, and I want to touch base on an article I read on your Doolin Dodgers, which they almost make you think that you don't have a Memphis thing anymore. It's all down in Dallas, Texas. We'll get to that in a second. But there was like almost a pause in Major League Baseball about a third of the way through when the numbers were just crazy stupid because pitchers were allowed to use that spider tacky stuff. And they took that away, and offensive numbers kind of went back a little bit to normalcy. Has baseball righted itself? Was that a good thing for the game now that you see it in retrospect?
Yeah, no, I think it was. I mean, obviously, you want it to be as fair as possible for both hitters and pitchers. And ultimately, I don't think the pitchers were trying to cheat. I just think it just evolved as, okay, we can get this thing a little tackier. It helps them hold on it with all the analytics. They can compare spin rates and all the things that they're quantifiably doing throughout all the statistics. And I think it just evolved to that. I'm glad that they've gotten a grip on it, literally.
Yeah.
And I do think that it's been good for the game. Obviously, you want a fair game to be played. There's going to be tactics and advantages and things that you try to pick up, whether it's pitchers get into certain tendencies the way they hold their glove, or if they their posture when they get to a balance point, they're throwing this pitch or that pitch. That's all part of the game. But I do think that it's been good for the game, and hopefully there's been talk that the Major League Baseball is going to adjust the baseball again. They own Rawlings. They own
right.
the baseball company, so they can do whatever they want to. I just don't want it to get away from the purity of the game to where all we're seeing is strikeouts and home runs. And guys, it's. I was talking to some scouts when I was in Florida about, we're teaching our players now to throw with max effort and to swing with max effort, and oftentimes less is more. I mean, it's like hitting a golf ball. When you try to do less, you sometimes hit it farther. So hopefully, and I do think it's coming. I think we're seeing a little bit of a balance of the style of play, and I think you look at Tampa Bay's. They're one of the first teams, because of their low budget, that have gone to pitchers by committee, and I think it's kind of backfired on them to where you've got a pitcher that's pitching really well, a starting pitcher, and then all of a sudden you take him out because the analytics tell you, and it
right.
backfires on you. So.
Well, the little pause there and the adjustment really worked, because if you think about it, you had you could have had a 4-way tie at the end of the year for the American League wild card. That would tell you that the regular season was dramatic and came down in a great way, and the National League had some drama too in that regard. So I think it was terrific. All right, I want to brag on you a little bit. There was a national story. I guess it's a national website that is talking about the Doolin Dodgers and national championships that you guys have won, and I commend you for that. The only gripe that I have with this is that it's all about your Dallas grouping. You've got Memphis, which was your original. You've got one, what is it, Huntsville, that you also have?
Yeah, we've got some things going on in Huntsville.
You guys are becoming, in amateur baseball, a household name, aren't you? I'm bragging on you, but it's true.
I don't know. I mean, I think the brand, we've been around a long time. We've obviously done some really good things, but I guess the most thing that I think we've been able to do is be able to take young players, develop them, mentor them, and help them through the recruiting process. And we've placed more kids in the SEC than anybody in the country over the last 25 years. I'm very proud of that. And we've sent kids to, Dartmouth, Yale, MIT, and everywhere in between. And so I think because we spend so much time with our staff of trying to identify the right kids, not just the best players, ultimately that turns out to winning the championships that we've done. I mean, there's a lot of organizations out there that have a different model than we do, and it's successful in their own right. But for us, it's not about having 70, 80, 90 teams and then just diluting the product and over promising things that we can't deliver. And so for us, it's just a formula that's worked, and we try to let the kids enjoy it and educate the parents on the process as well. And for us, it's been good, and I've been very fortunate to have some guys like Chris Godwin, Terry Bevington, as part of our staff for a long time, and it makes it easy for me.
Hey, I know Chris Godwin, your right-hand guy in Dallas, former Tiger, former Memphis guy, Christian Brothers guy. Just people make it, and you and those guys are great people. So we appreciate what you do for amateur baseball. I'm glad you're getting the recognition, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that.
That's our man on baseball, Tim Doolin. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
By then,
Sounds good. Thanks.
we'll be in the middle of these LCSs, and we'll have a winner between the Dodgers and the Giants. This portion of the show brought to you by Conway. When's the last time you had your heating system cleaned? You know me. I'm a Comfort Club member. I believe in 2 inspections a year, 2 tune-ups, $57 if you get in on the early bird special, but normally $69. I do it in the spring for AC. I definitely am going to do it right before winter hits in the fall, because this includes a state-of-the-art camera system that goes in to do a complete safety inspection of your system. And it also includes a carbon monoxide test. You breathe a lot easier at night, especially if you got a house full of kids and everything, when you know you've been given a complete bill of health when it comes to any kind of leaks in your system. No carbon monoxide. Critical. And this camera system and the tests they do, it is the way to go. And it's all included, $69 in the 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up, which saves you money in the long run because it keeps you efficient, so you save money on your energy bill, and it'll make your system last longer if it is running efficiently. That's what they're all about, and all you got to do is call 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway services heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't know if they had any kind of electrodes that were attached to my friend Brett Norsworthy during the Arkansas-Ole Miss game. I've watched this guy up close and personal. Sat next to him, Game 6 of the World Series between the Cardinals and the Rangers. He passed out at the end of the game from sheer joy. I have no idea what he did after Ole Miss outlasted Arkansas. What was his heart rate when Arkansas went for 2? We'll find out from stats in just a minute.
Former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn joins Brett Norsworthy for Sports Time on Sports 56, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck, because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pin, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Working at Gateway Tire is not just a job, it's a profession. They're looking for career-minded people who want to advance their career in the auto industry. With 5-day work weeks, paid vacation, insurance, 401k plans, and much more, you'll enjoy their hometown approach to customer service. Come by and make Gateway Tire and Service Center the right step for your career.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
I'm with Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Shipping Kitchen. Pat, how are things downtown at the Shipping Kitchen?
Thanks, Brett. Wow, what a year it's been. 2020 threw a lot of changes at us. One of them was our great Memphis customers figured out how to ship our ribs all over the country.
Pat, we know you ship your ribs and shoulder all over the country. What are some of the other popular packages?
One of our most popular packages that's come out in the last year or two has been the barbecue nacho box. Well, our nacho box is an all-Memphis box. It includes our pork shoulder. It includes our friends at Poncho's cheese dip. Also includes Brim's chips, Felicia Suzanne's peppers, a bottle of our barbecue sauce, a bottle of our famous seasoning, some reheating tips, wet naps, cook hats, and you can even throw in a box of Dinstall's Cashew Crunch for the sweet tooth.
And Pat, this ships overnight just like the rest.
Brett, it sure does.
Where do we order this great food?
You can get these boxes by visiting our website. Go to www.hogsfly.com.
In the Alley in Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis since 1948.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in, halfway home on this wonderful Wednesday, this Madness Wednesday, you could say. Our title sponsor is Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch. They've got the product. We know the technology. You get all the warranties. You get free maintenance for 3 years. They've set the standard for the way car business should be done. That's what they do right there at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road, the first exit in Mississippi. That's what they do at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. 2011, Game 6 World Series. We're sitting in the family section of the players. Brett Norsworthy to my
Section
right.
152.
152 to be exact. And my man collapses at the end of the game in sheer joy. His heart rate was dangerous.
No. Josh Hamilton's home run sent me to the pavement.
Is that what it was? So that was
yeah, when
despair then.
When he tied it, then the thrill of victory and Miss Notel in front of us and everything going on had the heart palpitation going. I had it going Saturday. I was texting with you. It was something. I didn't know it was going to end like that, Dave. I didn't know it was going to be that wild. But that game gives that, and it's why I don't understand, Dave. I really don't. I don't understand why Razorbacks and Rebels fans, and both are equally guilty at this. I'm not assigning more blame to one side than the other. I am not, and I know both sides really, really well. I adore both sides. I don't know why they don't think of that game as more and mattering more and see the other one. Both sides will refuse to see the good attribute, and there are plenty in both sides, and that game puts that kind of game on often. I won't say every year, nothing does anything every year, but the idea that, I was consciously thinking of this. I said, what did I do to deserve 2 times in 6 years? You never even go to a game that finishes 53-52, and to be on the short end of one 2 times in 6 years, but I didn't. Ole Miss got the stop and won 52-51 instead of losing 53-52 like Ole Miss did in 2015. Now, to the Razorback fans, far as painful as that loss was, they can always win the pain meter because in 2015, that kept Ole Miss out of Atlanta. That Saturday did not keep Arkansas out of Atlanta. No. So they still win the pain inflicted award.
And no one Not a single person that I have listened to, read, seen has criticized Sam Pittman for going for 2. Neither team could stop either team, get it done with, and you got to be tired after how many snaps were in that game? There were 1,300 yards, for goodness sake.
The rushing yards, the first downs, the total plays, the length of the game, the time of the game. I've said many times, Dave, you know I have. We've never played faster for the games to take so long. We play hurry up, and the games take all day.
Yeah.
I mean, you can forget a 3:10, 3:15, even 3:30 game. That's okay. You have fun. And the ballpark was fun. The early start slowed down the crowd till kind of settled in about halfway in the first quarter. A lot of Razorback fans there, but no criticism whatsoever at Sam Pittman. Now, if they had made that, they would have had the penalty for linemen downfield. It were linemen downfield. There was a couple of them. And it's why I'm not so sure that they really knew what play they really were going to run.
They sure
was
looked
it a
confused.
pass?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you almost had an offensive line team meeting down around the end line. And so the play would have, and Sam Pittman said, well, with the penalty, he would have backed up, kicked the extra point,
absolutely.
probably made it, and then you roll the dice in overtime. But I respect him. I said it last week, the idea of Lane Kiffin and Sam Pittman having these two teams this relevant, this competitive, and this much in the conversation in the SEC in their short stints is remarkable.
Well, there's something about Ole Miss Arkansas games, too. I mean, I took my kids to the 7 overtime game.
You did.
I mean, I think of those as really being great gems of games. And you've mentioned now the 2 that were in the 50s. We have the 7 overtime game. And I think they should be special. The thing about Ole Miss.
It goes back forever. It goes back to 1960 in Little Rock.
Ole Miss has so many different rivalries. That's what makes it fun because depending on who you talk to, right? I'm just talking fans. I've heard some people go, well, it's Mississippi State, and we know the Egg Bowl is what the Egg Bowl is, and all the angst that brings. I've heard, I think even you have said, LSU is really their biggest rival. I've heard some people say, Tulane might be their biggest rival outside of conference play.
And the thing with the Tigers, the thing with Arkansas, the thing with
right, exactly.
Dave, I won't say old timers, some seasoned fans, remember
old timers. We got to learn to accept that.
Well, okay, I will. Us old timers, Dave. I can remember when playing Tennessee for Ole Miss was that big. Ole Miss, it engenders a lot of contempt by a lot of people, and vice versa, in giving it as good as you get it. But this week, on to Knoxville.
Yes.
Hadn't played up there since 2010. Haven't won up there in a long time. Did beat them in Oxford in 2014. Hugh Freeze kind of ran it up on Tennessee that night. And I'll never forget that next week on our text line right here, on our AutoZone text line, a Tennessee fan said, we're going to remember this. I said, well, you better have a long memory because we don't see each other again until 2021. Well, it's here.
It is here. And what will the reception be in Neyland for Lane Kiffin? I know he was back with Alabama.
Strawberry alarm clock's going to be playing, Dave. Incense and peppermint, sunshine and daffodils.
Right.
You know it'll be welcoming back of a favorite son. It'll be akin to a return of Johnny Majors and Philip Fulmer to Knoxville, won't it? No, it's not going to be anything close to that. And it's going to be packed, and it's going to be fun, and you know how special that setting is. I said it Saturday on our airwaves, on our post-game show. Dave, in my life, one of the most enjoyable things about sports and about growing up in this area is all the cornucopia, the A to Z of different fandoms and radio outlets in this Memphis market. And when I would hear John Ward say, "Good afternoon, everyone, from Neyland Stadium and Shields Watkins Field, this is Tennessee football," that was as good as it got. And to be up there Saturday, probably, unless the league really radically changed the schedule, probably old Brett's last trip to Knoxville, because we're not scheduled to play them again until like 2031.
Oh, that all could change, with when Texas and Oklahoma come in. By the way, just so you know, incense, peppermint, da-na-na-na, just so you know, I knew the song.
I know you knew it. I know you from your DJ days in Steamboat. I knew you knew
there
it.
You go.
But But I'm looking forward to being up there in Tennessee, and Ole Miss, I think, will put on a show. Look at that over and under. It's at 85 now.
Well,
85.
why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it?
Based on last week, come on. And based on what Tennessee has done the last 2 weeks, putting 62 on Missouri, putting 40-something, 45 on South Carolina. But I think they had like 28 in the first quarter. It was crazy.
I've watched a lot of Tennessee games this week getting ready, and I watched it live the day they played Pitt and Kenny Pickett, and I think that's more reflective offensively what Matt Corral will present to them. And Kenny Pickett, who may be the best quarterback in college football, really had that kind of day, and Pitt was able to hang on and win 41-34. But I think you can plug in kind of first team to 50 wins.
Could be. I can see that. I can't wait to see how they react to Kiffin, and I can't wait to see how this hypo system is starting to really get established in Knoxville. One last thing before I let you go. How will Arkansas be affected by losing that game? Because there's a mental thing to it. Everybody knows it's a great game. You're elated because Ole Miss wins, and you should be. But there's got to be some deflation, some depression in Arkansas. And here they are at home against Auburn. And if they are as good a team as I think they are, they should beat Auburn. But I don't know about mentally. What do you think happens in that game?
And de facto, 2 open dates. They have UAPB next week from FCS, and then their legitimate open date, and then their last 4 against Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, and Missouri. For the Razorbacks to respond, they've got to play like they did during the best of times on Saturday and get better against a run offense. And you know Auburn's going to – they always have good running backs, and they have a couple now. They're going to try to run. But for this Sam Pittman turnaround, and I'm here to applaud him. He's done a great job. But it's how big of a turning around he has to do, because he's still now they are 4-20. Let me get this right. They had 19-game losing streak and then went 3-7. So that's 3-26, and they're 1-2 this year. They're 4-28 in their last 32.
Wow.
In the SEC. They lose Saturday. They're 4-33. How big a turnaround are you when you're still talking 4-33? They're at home. They got to take care of business, and that story starts to dissipate.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go back that far because Sam Pittman's only been around for a couple of years. So
he's 4-9.
There you go. He's 4-9, and he's
in SEC play.
He's got to change that. Hey, how good is Georgia? Arkansas couldn't score.
That good.
And they put 51 on the Rebels. They're good. And they're 23-point favorites against a Kentucky team that is good. That is amazing
Dave,
to me.
I know you are, as am I, and you helped me extraordinarily. For me to be, N'Kobe Dean from Horn Lake is meritorious of Heisman Trophy consideration at linebacker at Georgia.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it as always.
You got it.
And we shall chat next Tuesday on your show, next Wednesday on this show. That's what I love about it. It's brotherhood here. It is a brotherhood. Thank you. I went to dinner last night with a relative of Domenico Canali. How about that? Domenico Canali. Who's that, you might say? He's the guy that founded wonderful Old Dominic. That's the distillery downtown that you can take a tour of. And it's just a great story because Domenico Canali came to this country with nothing. And the family now has built this business that is so terrific. You've got to go see it. I am told that the person that is the master distiller, Alex Castle, she's incredible. They have this bourbon that experts have tasted, and what is astonishing about it is she won't say it's done. So there are expert tasters that say it's perfect right now. She goes, no, not yet. That's how good these Old Dominic products are. And you can go taste them with a 45-minute tour of the Old Dominic distillery, or you might even go to the bar. They got this great bar. Go to olddominic.com. You'll see the bar hours. There's no reservations necessary. You could do the tour, go to the bar. You could just do the tour, or you could just go to the bar late night and have, maybe you'll fancy yourself with a old-fashioned, or maybe you want all the Old Dominic products. They got the expert mixologist waiting for you at Old Dominic's right there on Front Street. We take a quick timeout. When we return, Jarvo from Action News 5. He is next.
Johnny Radio's Happy Hour has a new time, but with all the same shenanigans. For all you looking for something to make you smile, think, and laugh, look no further. We're drinking from 11 to 1 Monday through Friday. Same style, same great guests, just kicking off the day a little early. Enjoy your Happy Hour 11 to 1 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Hockey season, it's in full swing, and there's no better place to bet on the NHL than FanDuel Sportsbook. NHL parlays are the perfect way to make every shot feel like a hat trick. You can turn a little bet into a big payday. And all season long, FanDuel is giving customers NHL parlay insurance. You'll get up to $25 back each day if your parlay falls one leg short. Don't have a FanDuel account? Sign up now using promo code CASH to place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. FanDuel's always hooking you up with great odds and exclusive offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid out in as little as 24 hours. This season, make every moment matter more and bet on the NHL with FanDuel Sportsbook. And remember to use promo code CASH so they know I sent you. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Parlay Insurance Max refund $25 per day. Risk-free bet for first online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days for Parlay Insurance and 14 days for risk-free bet. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell here at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want you to think about something. When was the last time you surprised your wife or your girlfriend with something nice for absolutely no reason at all? Not a birthday, not an anniversary, just no reason other than to show how much you care. For over 35 years, we've been helping Memphis men show their ladies how grateful they are to have those girls in their lives. For special occasions, well, gifts are expected, but a lot of times the unexpected presents, given for no reason other than love, have the most impact and say the most to her. Those gifts say you care all the time, every day. At Russell Brothers Jewelers, we've been helping men say I love you for 5 decades. The size or the price of the gift is of little importance. It's the thought you put into it that will make her smile. Come see me, Bill Russell, at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Let us help you find just the right thing, large or small, that will let her know how you feel. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
She's a good. Final segment, Jarvo, about to join us. It's brought to you by Miramichi. What a great weekend to go. Make it a little bit of rain on Friday. Other than that, it's going to be spectacular for about the next 2 weeks, and there's nothing better than fall golf, and there's nothing better than Miramichi. 330 acres of beauty, 7,400 yards of championship golf, and if you're a senior tomorrow, you can play for $30 and get all the golf balls you want to hit on the range and great practice facilities, and then afterwards, you might want to imbibe on that beautiful patio with the best look in Shelby County, all the sky and the waterfalls and everything else. It's just a gorgeous place, and it's close, 25 minutes from East Memphis. That's Miramichi. Jarvis Greer joins us now from Action News 5. We got Memphis Madness coming your way tonight. I'm sure you guys will cover that extensively, but are you worried about the IARP timeline stuff that came down?
Wow, Dave, there are so many things that have come out, we're going to release something. Oh, it's a timeline to tell you what we did.
Yeah.
And that we're not done yet. But we're basically done, but we're not done yet. And it's like, okay, well, how much are you digging? How much more have you found? Nobody knows anything. Of course, the NCAA is saying nothing. The University of Memphis can't say anything. And the only thing we had to go on was a while ago, Dr. Rudd said, the University of Memphis president said that he was not worried about it as far as whatever the outcome might be. And, I really can't, my mind is like only so big, and I really can't try to read between the tea leaves and see what they're saying about, they've kept in constant contact and they've had umpty meetings since January 30th or whatever. And, the last big meeting was in August, and the university has asked for a redirect or something like that. I don't know, or reconsideration on this and that. So I don't know what that means. Reconsider what you've ruled, or reconsider some of the facts in the case. I don't know.
Or maybe the way it was worded to me, it made me think maybe there was a conflict of interest with that chief panelist. I wasn't sure.
I heard that. And, whatever conflict of interest, is it on the NCAA's part? Is it on the University of Memphis part? Who knows? And they're being very tight-lipped about it. The only thing is, how long, even in a pandemic, everything's been done by Zoom anyway, and it didn't. What do you investigate? It's not like you're looking for forensic evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all pretty much out there, and either they're going to say, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't. And you talk to other people around it. That's how you do it. You talk to the people, the principals, and then you talk to the people around the principals to see what they say, if they corroborate. And other than that, I don't know what else they have to do. Memphis was the first case up.
True.
And what do we? How many months has this been? It's been more than a year and a half.
Oh, yeah. Well, the NCAA put pressure on the IARP. That's why they've put out these timelines on all 6 cases they've been sitting on for all this time. And I'm with you. It's frustrating. Look, maybe what we ought to hope for is that they make their decision like April 10th after this season is over. I don't think that that'll be the case, but that would be okay with me. All right, it feels – for sure, if you want to make bowl games or even get close to that 8 wins, maybe just even a bowl, you better win this game against Navy with a short turnaround, because here come the midshipmen tomorrow night.
Well, the whole thing since Fuente, I believe, was here. Justin Fuente was coach. So the whole mantra for the University of Memphis football was just 1-0. Just go 1-0. Don't even worry. Don't look down the road. Don't think about anything else. You got to go 1-0. You want not just 1-0. You want to win each possession. You want to win each play. And you're going to get knocked down sometimes, but this team can't afford to look ahead, though. Because you end up looking past what's right in front of it. It cannot afford to look ahead at all. So, in the Navy, the midshipmen, the only thing that is kind of halfway okay with playing Navy is that at least they've seen them. You're in the same conference with them, so you see them every year, and the players they know what to expect going into practice with this. But you cannot replicate Navy speed, even though it's Naval Academy. How fast can they be? It's not that they're just absolutely so fast. They're just so precise in what they do. And we've seen this Navy team, like last year, it's kind of taken a little while to get started, but it looks like they've gotten started now. And that, their blocking is different, the way they crab block and all kind of things on the triple option, and until you see it, you haven't seen it. But fortunately, Mike McIntyre has been maligned here a bit because the defense has not played that well. His history has been pretty good against the Naval Academy.
No doubt.
So,
if the Tigers don't turn it over, if the Tigers get any kind of defensive pressure from their front, if the Tigers get any points from their special teams, their field goal kicker, they could be 6-0. And you know what?
Well, you just take any one of those things. You don't have to put them all together.
And they'll beat Navy. If they can do any of those things, they will beat Navy. As always, my friend, I appreciate it. I'll see you in just a couple of minutes at our meetings.
Yeah, just a bit.
There you go.
Dave. Thank
you. Bye-bye. That is Jarvis Greer from Action New 5. We thank him. We thank Brett Norsworthy. We thank Tim Doolin. And we'll do this again tomorrow. So have a great day, everybody. Johnny Radio from the AutoZone Libertyville High School Luncheon coming your way in a matter of moments.
For years, I have talked